What is happening? Welcome to another pitcher video breakdown. My name is Nick Pollack, and today we're going to talk about Kodai Senga. So, I've had a lot of thoughts about Kodai Senga this year, and it really boils down to he can be so good and so volatile and rough. And it really comes down to how good that ghost fork is. TM, trademarked ghost fork. Entering this game last night against the Phillies, it had a sub 50% strike rate. And just to give you an idea of that, we generally want to see 60% plus strike rates on pitches. Seeing a 47% strike rate on this ghost fork is saying less than half of the time it's going to be a ball and not good for you, which is oh so volatile. However, last night, lots of good splitters. We're going to see them here, and I'm also going to show you the rest of the repertoire from Senga. That is a fastball, cutter, slider, and how good those are, and really give you an understanding of how repeatable this kind of performance is. And I do want to note early in this one, I call Senga's forkball a splitter. It's traditionally, yes, is a forkball. It's more of the gap in between your fingers, okay? So think of it, this is how I would throw mine, actually. I threw a forkball in college. And a splitter is more, you throw it deeper in so there isn't that gap. That means it's harder and doesn't have as much of a loop that Senga's does have. I think it's kind of closer to a splitter. It's just easier for me to talk about it relative to other pitches that it's really the same kind of thing. A lot of forkballs, like back in the day, Jose Contreras had a forkball that was really like a strike pitch. Think of it like a curveball, but it had a different profile of movement, or like more of like a heavier pitch and not really the big spin of the curveball, but kind of the same shape. So just keep that in mind. Here we go for Kodai Senga. And good job. You got a 95 mile per hour fastball inside the zone. And that's a huge deal. And there's the splitter, right? And you can kind of see, you've seen splitters before. It is really that kind of splitter. It's not really that big loop of a forkball. Sorry, I apologize if someone wants to call it the forkball. It's called the ghost fork, Nick. I'm going to call it a splitter the rest of the way. It's just really easier to compare also to other splitters. So for Senga, it's so important that first pitch in the zone for a strike, because that sets up the 0-1 splitter. And a big problem for Senga has been lower strike rates than you want on that four-seamer, sub 60%, which is below average, which then means it's a 1-0 count. And in a 1-0 count, you might not get this aggressive swing from Real Muto. Also, really good fork there, right? Really good splitter. So look at that. That's a great pitch, too. This is 0-2. Often this does generate an out. This is more actually, I think, of a 0-0-0-1 pitch, maybe a 2-1 pitch, where a guy might be aggressive on the fastball and then swing on this pitch inside. You're not going to get a whiff on this. Does this get the out? So fantastic. Great. As long as that pitch gets an out, we're good. I don't care if it's a strikeout or not. That's good. You generally will see that kind of swing. I would think it'd be more of a foul ball. And it was. It just happened to be playable here. Either a foul ball or taken when swung at. Not really a whiff. So I'm glad it got the out.
Educated conjecture.
And to be fair, Senga's fastballs don't really earn whiffs. It is like an 8% swing strike rate for the season for Kodai Senga's four-seamers. Generally, you want to see like a good one is like a 14-15%. A solid four-seamer is like 11%. It's kind of league average, is 11 to 12% four-seamer swing strike rates. Way below average for Senga. I believe he does mix in some sinkers here and there, but like I think that would be the four-seamer despite, you know, what it looks like on the movement and stuff. It could be wrong. So that's the slider, 83 there. I think it's that or curveball, but I feel like there's the fork. So really bad slider, right? You got the whiff on the first one, but really bad slider. But good splitter. Fine, you get to 1-2. I think you throw another one. You feeling the splitter today? And you do. Awesome. You got it lower too. And that's really important. The previous one looked really good right below the zone, but he fouled it off. So you got to go a little bit lower to see how far he'll extend. Senga did that beautifully here. Got the strikeout. Well deserved. Love that.
With 2 out. What's interesting,
and there's 92. I think that's the cutter. I can't really see. But at 92, that's the velocity band of the cutter, where the fastball's around 95, 96, 97. Yeah, there's 96. Fastball missed there. So this is okay. This is kind of what we see a lot from Senga, is why he has those high walk rates, right? He's got to get it. Come on, get back in the zone. Find something here. Okay, you found 97. That's actually kind of interesting. That's the hardest fastball you threw the entire at-bat. You normally see the opposite. 3-0, you see slower velocity to make sure you focus on the location. Kind of cool to see that. Maybe it kind of says about like how his mechanics are right now. Oh, wow. He got the strike on a very high cutter. You can see Marsh trying to get rid of it. That is a gift. Oh, man. Oh, I love these shots, by the way. And there's a splitter at 88. That's how good he feels with that splitter. You love to see it. There's a chance it's the cutter, but I think the cutter is at like 91, 92. Again, the camera angle here is really hard to tell. Like it's hard to see from a release here going. All of it is going this way, so I can't see how much of the dip or like a little bit of that movement. Let me see if I can kind of like. Yeah, that looks like the splitter to me. And that's kind of showcasing like for a pitch that normally is a sub 50% strike rate, and that includes swings out of the zone, right? That's not saying zone rate. That is inside the zone plus all the swings that are outside the zone. That's your strike rate. That's really good to see him executed at 3-2. Love to see. We're going to do one more inning here of Senga. So there's the fastball. Doesn't get the call there. It's not that good. It's kind of a bad fastball. Glad he got that 94. Okay, kind of looked like a sinker going away. There's a cutter at 92. So that cutter has like a 72% strike rate. And for Senga at 1-1, where he didn't want to throw a splitter yet for whatever reason, he's trying to get to 2 strikes here to set that splitter. I mean, I would be absolutely shocked if they don't throw a splitter in this one, and then probably throw a second one if he doesn't swing at it. It's just like that's what you do. You get 2 strikes, you throw the splitter. Like that's it. The other stuff doesn't really put guys away. So it's all about getting those strikes for Senga to then set up a splitter that hopefully is on that day, right? That's really it. Those are the variables you need for Senga to have success. Because if the splitter isn't on in a given day, as you can see, the 4-seamer and the cutter and the slider that he bounced before, those are not put away pitches. Those are okay, and you can survive games with just those. But everything really does go through the splitter. So he threw it at 85 and just didn't get it down, right? Throw it down. Get it down. Yep, there you go. Right. So I told you it would be 2, right? He misses on the first one, he gets the second one. Got it. Okay, but right, that's the thing. I mean, it makes me wonder a decent amount too. You know, if teams are super hyper aware and they allow called strikes more in 2 like I wonder if a team can gamble against Senga and be like, all right, with 2 strikes, I'm just not going to swing, and just kind of see if they can accept those called strike 3s. There's no way a team's going to do that, but that's kind of what Senga relies on, because it's all about that splitter, right? He tries to throw, I believe, a first pitch cutter there at 88. I don't know. No, it was. I think it was a splitter. Missed it. Got a fastball first strike in the zone. Again, that's critical, right? We got to get to 2 strikes somehow. Another fastball. Good. Got to foul off. Awesome. Great. Because you know what's coming now, right? I mean, come on. How could you not throw a splitter? And he did. Terrible one. Like, that is too high up, and it's going inside and getting on the side of it. Ugh. Terrible. Get down on it. There it is. Beautiful. Excellent one, right? And like, this is, again, I just want to emphasize, you're seeing the execution of Senga, not what we normally see. This is an exceptional day, but this is how he does it. So it's on you to really think, like, is this something that is sustainable or not? And you can see, the fastball's not a good pitch. It's not. There's the cutter. He gets that in there, right? Lots of called strikes on that cutter. And that looks like the slider. Doesn't quite get it. That was... I like it at 1-1. You need to throw something else instead of just doing the same exact game plan of fastball cutter, splitter, right? Slider is a necessary pitch to hopefully get him to 2 strikes effectively. And, of course, you know, maybe have another offering in 2 strikes and just a splitter so they don't completely spit on it.
2-1 coming to Stott. And he lines one right.
And that is a cutter up that Stott lines to third base. I don't think that was a strike either. I think that gives you a good idea of Senga. It is so imperative he has that weapon in this forkball. I mean, that just completely changes everything. Because if guys are easily resisting that splitter where it's like bounced a lot or it's coming inside too far or whatever, and it's not under the zone. You see all those whiffs? They were under the zone, right? Like really tempting ones. If he's not executing that, the fastball cutter slider just is kind of whack. So I hope for Senga that he has this forkball splitter, whatever you want to call it, moving forward. But that gives you a good idea of Kodai Senga. That is it for today. Make sure you leave a comment on who you want me to focus on moving forward. I felt like it was a good overall understanding of Kodai Senga. And hey, hopefully this does continue, especially for the Mets fans who desperately need these kind of performances from their pitching staff. All right, that is it. My name is Nick Pollack, and may your BABIPs be low and your strikeouts high.